everybody, welcome to our live video, and today we'll be talking about breaking gender stereotypes and expectation. As expected, this video is sponsored by W.O.N.D.I.V.A, and this is the Girversation by W.O.N.D.I.V.A, whereby women come together, have a discussion about topics that affect the woman gender. So we have a discussion every weekend, so feel free to keep joining us. And after this replay will be available on the Instagram page, and also we are going to be uploading it on our YouTube channel at W.O.N.D.I.V.A TV. So if you miss it now, you can also catch up through our YouTube channel. So just permit me as I invite other guests to come on stage. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Coach Joseph, for joining. I'm finding it difficult to actually share this link out, so I don't know if you'll be able to just, take the link and share it on the group for people to join. I can only share on Instagram here. I don't know why. Welcome, Coach Joseph. Please, are you able to get the link? Okay, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. Just keep seated, and today we have a very, very interesting topic. This is one of the topics I really like to speak about, because in this century, we'll still find out that there's still a lot of stereotypical attitude that is being, imposed on women. You just find out that these stereotypes still continue to occur at workplaces, at home, in the church. And as women, as this is affecting us, and we need to, address it. And that's why we'll be addressing it today on the Girversation by W.O.N.D.I.V.A. So keep coming in. Welcome, everyone. Please just take a seat, feel comfortable, and get ready for this conversation. At any point where you feel like you want to join this conversation, just make sure to, put in a request. Then we'll just tell you to come on, to add your own suggestions, your contributions, and also you can drop it in the comment section. You can ask your questions, and we are more than happy to, to answer you. Welcome. Welcome, guys. Just keep, making yourself comfortable. We'll start in few minutes from now. Welcome, Coach Josie. Let me just add you to the live video if you're ready, and we'll wait for Precious to join us, and we'll start. Is that okay? Hello.
Hey, Mary.
Good afternoon. How you
Good
doing?
afternoon. Good to see you. Ah, we're wearing blue together.
Oh,
I didn't even notice initially.
well, welcome, ma. How are you
Thank,
doing,
thank
ma?
you. Thank you.
Okay, so Bumi already told me to
How is
stand in place
it,
for
how is
her.
it going for you?
Fine, fine,
I didn't hear
fine,
you.
fine. So Bumi asked me to
Okay.
stay in place for her, so I'm just waiting for Precious to come online. So we should start.
You are standing in for who?
For Bumi.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, Precious is not able to join us now.
Oh,
She
okay.
has a class.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So just us,
So
right?
yes, that would be us.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. So today we have a very, very interesting topic. As we all know, this is one of the, you know, one of the, would I say, one of the things that really affect us as females, everywhere you go to, there's a sort of stereotype, it's getting better, but we're not there yet. So today we'll be
Yeah.
talking about,
Especially in Africa.
yes, we'll be talking about the breaking gender stereotypes and, and the expectations. So before I start, let me just ask you, what is your view on gender stereotypes? What's even gender stereotypes? If you want to break something, you have to be aware of what you want to break before we even start to talk about ways around it. So what is your opinion on gender stereotypes? Welcome, Leo. Oh, I'm not sure I can pronounce that name. Can you pronounce the name? Can you see the person that has joined us?
Like Lenon Jean, something like that.
Yeah. Welcome. You see,
Sorry if
we're
I missed
talking
your
a
name. You're
lot.
welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, so really, stereotypes generally, the word stereotype is just a word that explains that status quo, like fitting into a mold. This is how it is. This is how it's supposed to be. Nothing can ever change it. Just like you say, putting like a round peg in a round a hole, square peg in a square hole. So it's like saying every woman, for example, you're a woman must have a vagina, for example. So if you are a kind of person that doesn't have a vagina, not fit to be a woman. So in other words, is whatever we say is stereotype, is like it's sacrosanct, and usually in our minds, usually man-made. It's not because it is natural, like the vagina example, but I just had to use that. So it's like once something is a stereotype, it's like this is how it is. Like there's a saying in Catholic that says, as it was in the beginning, so it is now, world without end. Just like, for example, gender roles. Oh, a woman has to take care of the home. In our heads, like that is what a woman's job is. But like we just started doing it because the woman is the gender that bears the child. The woman is the softer gender. So we'll assume that because she's the one that bears the child and is softer, her work is in the house. So stereotypes over time comes from our culture. Sometimes it's religion, sometimes it's background, or just upbringing, like the environment you find yourself. But it doesn't necessarily mean that those stereotypes, that those mindsets, those things that we actually believe in, or things that we think are the norm, are actually the acceptable or the best way to view things. I hope I didn't sound
No,
ambiguous.
no, no, no. Yeah, that's just it.
All right.
Stereotypes
Hi,
is.
Motu. My friend is here,
Oh,
Motu.
welcome,
Glad
Motu.
to see
Thank you
you.
for joining us. So stereotypes usually, these are kind of expectations that have already been set by the society. One way or the other, it just seeps through. For example, we talked about.
Sorry, Mary, can you put the topic? Can you put topic in the chat and then pin it
Oh,
so when people come, they know we are discussing.
okay. Just a moment, please. Let me just do that.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Topic. Gender stereotypes. Sorry, please. I'm just trying to add the topic I'm pinning. I'm not sure I know how to do it. Gender stereotypes.
You just put like a comment and then click on the comment. You see the option of pin. I think pin or delete.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yes,
there now.
yes.
So just click on it. You should
How many?
pin.
How many can we pin? Can we pin up to like two comments?
Okay, it's pinned.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well done.
Thank you. So, like
Yeah.
I said, gender stereotypes are usually made out of the society. Like, for example, a woman is the one that is meant to cook food in the house. A
Mm,
woman is the one that
mm,
is meant to, take care of the kids. A
mm,
woman is the one that is supposed to fulfill her career for the family. Even
mm-hmm.
though she's, earning more than her partner, then if the need be, instead of them to, make a kind of intelligent decision, just weigh the options together and see what is going to benefit the family. They just assume, oh, you're getting married, is your husband that is, you are the one meant to move to your husband's house, you understand, and all of that. So those stereotypes, I think they affect
I will.
us. Welcome, Bologi. Did I get that?
Yeah,
Okay, welcome.
Bologi.
So they affect how we think. They affect our own expectations. For example,
Mm.
now, if maybe I thought that, well, after having children, I won't be able to work. So what's the point of going to school in the first place? What's the point
Don't
of,
say that.
studying hard? That's what I'm just trying to say. Like, if I have that stereotypical attitude that I need to stay at home to take care of my kids, so what's the essence of,
Going to school,
going to school,
yeah,
putting
for
your
a
effort,
lady,
getting first class, getting that medical
get a
degree,
degree.
all of that. What's the point of doing that? And I think it's happened, especially it's still happening in the northern side, where people think
Yeah.
that women are meant to take care of the home and they don't need any educational support. And that is one of the things that just pulls the female gender backwards more. So gender stereotypes is just something that if we start talking from now till the end of the day, I don't think we'll be able to exhaust it. So what other stereotypes do you think you've experienced, maybe in your workplace, being a woman generally? What stereotypes have you experienced and how has it affected you generally?
Uh, so to be honest, there's this thing that happened when I think, yeah, after school, my dad was teasing me, says, okay, so you're finished with NYC. So what is next? Marriage or masters? He was like, M and M, okay, which one comes from NAR or MAS, that kind of thing. So I'm like, yeah, I want to do my masters and I want to get married, but I'm not actually in a committed relationship. So instead of sitting down and waiting, why don't I go ahead with my marriage? And then people began asking, so when are you settling down? And then I began to get uncomfortable with the word settling down, with the phrase settling down, because settling down to what? Because the phrase settling down, like, connotes that the person is stepping back,
Mm,
probably sitting, oh, now I'm settled, I have arrived, and folded her hands. What am I settling down
yeah.
into? My home? Yes, I'll get married, I'll build my home, but that's not the end of me. And this goes to, and this is very important, because a lot of us women blame the men who say, oh, they're always pushing us to one side, thinking we are less because we are ladies. But it's not always like that. Sometimes we women don't even believe in ourselves.
Mm,
Sometimes in our minds, our mindset is already like, oh, once I finish school, I'm getting married at 22, have my kids, raise them, and that's the end of my life. And you begin to see women getting to menopause, their children have left their homes, they don't have any meaning, they don't feel like they feel any purpose anymore. After they birth their children, they're now not seeing their husbands in their old age, they're full of regrets, especially those that did not pursue their education further, who were lazy and were out to get married. Now begin to look at their counterparts that went to school, like, that one is a professor, that one is this and that, and if only I knew. And they're full of regrets. In fact, some people are those that actually, go ahead to train their children with the mind that, okay, I'll train my children and they'll take care of me in old age. And sometimes those children don't come back to take care in old age, or they don't make it as much as being able to set up their mothers or build them houses or buy them cars. Like we are used to say, like we are used to saying in Africa, train your children, kidding won't shape, won't shape for more. That is, I'm doing everything I'm doing for my children. But
everything you're
no,
doing.
first of you have a life, you have a purpose to fulfill. You need to know for yourself first. All right. So before we start pointing at our HR and employers to say, why can't you give a woman this role? And you're saying, no, a man needs that role. First of all, Let's know who we are. Let's know that we are here to fulfill a purpose in life. Let's know that God created Eve to help Adam. Meaning that if you are called into the ministry of marriage, you are supposed to assist your husband. However, you still have your role to play. So a woman is strong, can juggle a lot of things, but she has to start from her mindset first. She has to discover herself. Number two, she has to now have a personal motivation. Don't wait for, oh, your parents send you to school, your parents do this or that. Don't wait for people to, begin to like push you, I'll come and do skill acquisition, or why don't you do? No, have an inner push, because because really nobody owes you anything. And then don't come with a mindset of, oh, when I get married, my husband will. Like my dad used to say, he used to tease me. I was telling him I wanted to learn how to drive. I was like, learn how to drive for what? I need to learn how to drive. Yeah, I was young and single. I think it was after I finished my IT, if I resumed back to school, let's learn how to drive. And my mom was like, okay, let's go to driving school. But I was like, why learn how to drive? When you get married, your husband will teach you. I say, why? You have to talk to mommy. No, I can learn how to drive. What if I have a job offer before I marry? And there's a car attached to me, car to a driver. What am I going to do? So it goes to say that women should own their lives, discover themselves, have an inner push. And this is not to say that, okay, start competing with men or something. Should even compete with men or women. Competition is not where I'm going to. But have a sense of responsibility, first off. Then secondly, know that nobody owes you anything and you want to be the best in life. So when you are not able to be at a good pedestal and that looks like for yourself you've done well, and then they're trying to push you to the background because they feel you're a woman, then you can now speak. But if you have not come up to that level, I don't think so. Like I was saying, my masters, I finally went for my masters, all right, and I was my masters, I got married. And then one of those times when I started my ministry, funny enough, I didn't start my ministry. I started my ministry at the start of that lockdown, December before the lockdown, that 2018 December. People saw me like coming out more on social media around that January to April 2020, and they felt like, oh, lockdown, everybody's coming out, everybody is doing online stuff. That's not it for me. Okay, that time I started, somebody even made a comment, he even called me like, Josephine, what's up with you? You have gotten married, and next thing you are seeing everywhere on social media. It's actually strange because we see that ladies get married, they get pregnant, and they don't hear of them anymore. But you are married, you're even expecting a baby, and we are seeing you everywhere up and doing. Why is your own different? I say I'm living my life because marriage is an enhancer. It's not a place to come and settle down. So we want to break stereotypes, but we need to pick up our lives. We need to own it. We need to have a push. We need to be doing something. We need to make a difference, because if men, in quote, will make a space for you, will respect you as a woman, then you need to have achieved. You need to have owned yourself. You need to be bringing something to the table, really. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much.
Too much.
No. Like this is a very passionate topic. When I tell people I'm passionate about women, apart from being a midwife, like helping pregnant women and all of that, this is one of the things I try to inspire women for. Understand? I myself am married now, even though to some people I'm still young, you understand? They say, oh, why are you getting married? To the young people, they're like, why are you getting married now? If you get married, every other thing that you want to do, you might not be able to do it. Why shouldn't I be able to do it? If I'm getting married, I'm coming together, and even my Bible says 2 is going to chase 10,000. So if I was doing 100 before, or if I was doing 100 before and I get married, I am supposed to do 10,000 now, because we are now 2. So that stereotypical attitude, the mindset, you said it all. You said the first thing to change is your mindset. I am a lady, I am human, and I'm here to fulfill God's purpose. And that's why W.O.N.D.I.V.A is here, to help women, align their life to God's purpose. You are not aligning your life to your husband's purpose. You are not aligning your life to what your parents want you to be. You are aligning your life to what God wants you to be. Along the line, you find out that what God wants you to, to actually do, if it actually involves you getting married, you would also get married along the line. And if you get married with God's will, the person that you are getting married to, your vision is going to align with the person. And okay, let me just add Queen. Sorry, Queen.
Okay.
I'm
She's
adding you
having
in now.
difficulty joining. Okay.
She,
That's Sophia.
oh,
I
sorry.
thought she wasn't coming. Sophia, good to see you.
I think I sent you a request now. Sorry. So, like I was saying, if you are in God's will, even when you get married to someone that would also align to God's will in your own life too. So life in general is going to, just progress forward for you if you have a fundamental knowledge of, knowing who God wants you to be. Then the stereotypes would not really affect you because you already know where you are going to, and you have someone with you that that is going to that's also going to where you are going to. So when you have kids, even though sometimes it takes a lot of responsibility, you have to cater for the kids, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult. But if you are trying to align with God's purpose, you find out that you will be able to find your way around it. For example, because Josie has 2 children, and you still see her launching ebooks, doing YouTube channel, doing all of that. You might think it's not going to be the same as a single person, but still, what I just feel is that your mindset, what you have in your mindset, is going to, direct you to what you are actually doing. Welcome, Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining.
network here is very,
Oh my
very bad.
goodness, the network is bad.
Network is bad. Like, I don't know. It's as if my
Oh my goodness, we've lost Queen. I don't know.
I think she just go on. She must able later, maybe.
Oh, so sorry, Queen. We've lost you again. So, Coach Josie, this is so interesting. We can just keep going on and on and on and
Yeah.
on. So,
Yeah,
if you
and
are
then it's very,
joining
very
us,
important at the place of work and in our churches. Somebody was sharing, like somebody sharing on WhatsApp, a pastor friend of mine in the US. I think it was yesterday morning. I can't remember the exact quotation of the scripture, but was that scripture where Apostle Paul was saying that women should not speak and teach in church, but they should listen quietly and ask their husbands at home, stuff like that. And then he was saying that a lot of people have misunderstood this scripture to mean that a woman cannot pastor or teach or understand the scripture, and that's not true. Right? And he explained it to say that okay, women should actually study, understand, and grow up to the level that they can even begin to teach. So he was pointing out, he was explaining that Apostle Paul meant that your Jewish tradition means that women should be seen and not heard. But women can get interested in God, come to church, listen, go back home, research, and grow to a point that in the future, that's after that time, they can begin to speak up. And if you look at it, even if you look at it, after that early church time, down generations, women started getting up. People like Catherine Kuhlman, powerful women of God that did great things. And then up till now, we have women in politics, women in leadership, women in religion that are doing extraordinary things. So if we sat back and said, oh, it's like God does not want women to talk or preach about church, and so women just swallow hook, line, and sinker everything a male, preacher says, we don't go back to study, we don't go back to read, then we just become like Dundies,
yeah.
Mugus. If a woman can read and become a professor and know her skills so well, why can't a woman actually also, read her Bible, understand by the Spirit of God, and teach to other human beings? It's just like that. And then I think I want to delve a little bit, if you don't mind, into the corporate world.
Okay.
I'm a nutritionist, and I noticed that in nutrition, a lot of times we see that people in that department are women. Just like a midwife,
Yeah.
most people are men, and nurses are women. A little percent are men, especially in the developed world.
Yeah.
We have male nurses. But come down here, male nurses in Nigeria, you may probably count them. And I don't know why that's like that.
Spoke about on my YouTube channel when I brought a male midwife, to come and talk to people, because because it's a male midwife, we have a few of them, male midwives that I know from Nigeria. So, when I also saw him in our set, I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, you are a male. Not like I
Midwifery.
totally condemned you to be among us, but first of all, it felt like, seriously, is this the career you want to pursue? But working with them, and I found out that it actually makes more sense, because this person was one of the like main people that even supported me while I was, while I was in school. He was my colleague, but because he was a male, he was able to like grab things faster. He was able to rapport with the doctors and all of that, get a lot of skills. And then I was able to also learn from him. Even though he was my colleague, was still even teaching me. Now imagine he wasn't there, he wouldn't have been able to teach me. So these things, as women, we need to pass it down to our children. We need to pass it down to people around us. We need to pass it to the whole world. That's why we are doing this video now, because it's going to be here from generation to generation, so that people can know that you being a female does not tell you that this is just what you are supposed to be. Even
Don't
what
put
me
you
I
in a
just
box.
conclude, what I conclude is that as women, your standard of living, the way your life is going to determine the standard of living of your children. So even if you are called to be a full housewife, stay at home mom, taking care of your kids, you still need to improve on yourself. You still need to study. You need to learn nutrition. You need to, do a lot of studying, so that you can keep your children. So if you are staying at home to take care of your children, you won't just be waking up 10 o'clock, sluggishly, being lazy. But even if you're staying at home and your kids, they're all dressed for school, their shoes are intact, their box is made, everything is made.
You're mute. Okay.
We're
I hear you
talking
now.
about the corporate aspect of stereotypes.
Yeah. So like I was just saying, that's like a disparity that I see, that there are more women in nutrition, more women in midwifery and nursing. And so, okay, for my first degree, I did food science and technology, and then food. So there are more ladies there. And then I think there was a kind of conversation. I think we a guy, and by the way, in my class, in my set, the best two students were males. Yeah. Even though we had more females. Yeah. So they had first class. So that's by the way. So it was like, how can a guy be doing food science and technology? And I'm like, why can't a guy do food science and technology? That's if we did cooking. We're not cooking in class. Even when we cooked, it was in the lab, and it was very few times. Okay, but because you saw food, you just conclude, and that's the one thing about our mindset too. So that was what I was saying. So I think there was a guy that was a bit embarrassed. Like, he had to tell somebody was doing food science, and the person was like, are you a guy? It's
Yeah.
like, what does that even mean? All right. And I had a few female friends who were doing engineering, and they used to pamper them like, because they're like 2 or 3 in the whole set. I'm like, yeah. They used to pamper them because they felt like, oh, they were doing a man's course of study. And so, male or female, I mean, anybody can do any course of study, to be honest, because it just depends on what you put in, your mental capacity, your seriousness, your ability to deliver and take information, and then be creative, innovate, and make your community better. And then it takes me to, I mean, the corporate world properly now, where I think I was in conversation with Fumi. I think it was last month when we're talking about HR people preferring a male candidate for a female candidate, and I think that they're actually, because some of these companies may be biased, to be honest. And sometimes you don't even blame them, because it's their experiences. They have experienced that, female staff, some female staff in the time past were actually a bit sluggish, and they couldn't take the rigors of that office. Does not mean that you can't meet another female that would do better. So I think generally people should be open-minded in dealing with these things, especially employers, employees. And then looking at women too, women will go through gestation, pregnancy, and all of that. And it's a challenge to us, dear woman. You're going through pregnancy. If your direct boss, your line manager or something, your company doesn't, if you don't have a good understanding with you, it could cause a bit of stress. And because women are different when it comes to pregnancy, and even pregnancies are different from child to child. we face a lot of things, to be honest, and it takes a lot of motivation on some days to show up as a pregnant mom, especially at the early stage or the late stage. So we understand all of that. However, who you are before that pregnancy, your work
Exactly.
ethic, how
Exactly.
you carried yourself may make you gain favor or disfavor. So it's like, yeah, and only you won't get belly, now you won't first get picking. But if you were serious, they will be like, oh, okay, let's understand with Mrs.
Yeah.
ABC. She's not able to come in every day. Let's give her leave of 2 days in a week. You get a kind of thing. And then, but, well, some meals may argue to say, okay, why do we have to do that? I mean, are we not all colleagues and everything? But, I mean, if we ask men to go through pregnancy, an average man cannot pass first trimester. So that's actually another side to it. So as we are saying, there shouldn't be gender stereotypes. We are challenging women. Do what you ought to do. Don't just come out and say, I'm a feminist. They must do for me, men. No, carry yourself. I mean, show that you are competitive. That you can be, you can compare to your male counterpart. I'm not trying to say that we should have competing and everything, but if you want to get the job, if you want to get the raise, the promotion, show that the male should not be considered, but you should be. Not because I'm a woman that they should know. Woman power, no. Brain. All right. Attitude, character. Sage now, good to see you.
Welcome. Welcome everybody that has joined. So what you've really said was just exactly what was on my mind, because usually, who are you even before all of that? If you're going through pregnancy, it's a phase, it would pass. If you're training your children, it's a phase, it will pass. And that's why even men, there are a lot of men that sometimes these men, they might be single dads, they are not married, some are married, their children, maybe their wife is not feeling too well, and they have so much of emotional burden on them too that they're going through. But how do you show up at work? Do you come online, or do you come to your workplace early enough? Do you meet up with deadlines? Are you effective in your role? That's what they will first check. Are you effective in your role? We've come to see a lot of female leaders everywhere. You can see, what's the name of this woman? Ariala. What's his name? Her name? Okonjo Ariala. You see her being the DTO of the whole World Bank. There are men in that industry, but she has stood out, and now they are not thinking, oh, she's a woman. They are thinking, yes, she can do the job.
She's the best person for the job.
We can see a lot of women. Okay, the directors now, these blockbusters movies that we are all happy about. This movie is out. We see the likes of Kemi Adetiba, people standing up doing their job. When they direct movies, you're not even saying who directed. Oh, it's a woman that you're like, this is a good job. You understand? What is worth doing at all is worth doing well. So take out the mindset that you're a female, I'm not supposed to do this. Take out the mind that you are human and you are here to fulfill God's purpose, and you are going to, align. And if you follow this conversation by W.O.N.D.I.V.A, you find out that about 3 weeks ago we talked about managing stress. So if you're a woman and you want to, make headways, make headways in your career, there are other skills that you need to, implement, like time management, effective communication, managing stress. There are a lot of things that would actually make you to be able to handle these things that we are seeing. As women, we are very good with multitasking. Very good. If you give a male series of things to do, I bet you they'll be confused. Just for them to do one thing and they
won't meet up. They'll do it one by one.
But ladies, for example, today you are all,
I forget some.
Yes, you want to cook, you want to do these videos, you want to do all of that. At the end of the day, you need to embrace. You are a female. You might have more strength than I do. I might have more strength than you. For someone like Sage now, I always tell her that, hey, you are doing so well. All these things that you are doing all at once. I can't do it.
Have you seen her dance video? I was shocked. It's like,
I can't do it. I just have to do one little thing at a time to be able to be effective. So let's go all out away from I'm a female, I'm a woman. They are supposed to understand. You do your role. You get to the peak of your career, whatever is motivating you, just try to do it, you know. And when you get to the peak of it, you then look back and see that there was actually nothing holding you back. You were just, you know, having yeses and say, oh, trying to listen to what people are doing. But if you, you know, if you just follow through with your passion, you know, your strength importantly, you have to build on your strength. In this
Focus
life,
on
we
your
have
strength,
strengths, we
yeah.
have weaknesses. I might be weak in some parts, you might be stronger in that part. So find people who are strong in that part to, you know, complement you. And I think the word, you know, the sky is our starting point as women. Do you have any other thing to say?
Yeah, I always talk about the popular Proverbs 31 woman. A lot of people say that Proverbs 31 woman is the ideal of a Christian woman. I mean, look at how she does this, does that, does that. Fantastic. But to be honest, that woman may have the responsibilities and household and all of that of the average woman, but her strength and her success is not what every woman has. Let's be honest. I mean, her maids, she makes clothes. I don't make clothes. She cooks. And her husband is honored. A lot of things were said about her. And a woman can experience burnout. There are down times. There was a day in this week I wanted to cry. I said, when will school resume? This stress all over me. I had deadlines to meet with at work, had to go to the market, and they were dragging me. There are some days that I just want to be all over mommy, and I'm like, hey God, my husband is not around, he went to work. And that day I felt tired. I just wanted to be a girl again. I didn't want to be a mom. So those days come. Those days come, to be honest. And back to the Proverbs 31 woman, she was a woman that I want to see as had a secret source of strength and motivation. And permit me to say, this is not a religious conversation as it were, but I think her strength came from God.
Yeah.
Because there's no how you wake up early, you do this, you do that, you have 1 million maids, your husband is this, you're making clothes for your children. She probably had time out to refresh, time out to retreat, maybe to pray. Because you can't be so organized and so successful without the place of spiritual strength. So as a woman, when you begin to burn out, complain, when I mean woman, I mean female, you're complaining, things are not going well, you're not meeting up with deadlines, you're feeling crushed, go back and check. Most likely, for me, usually, I'm using my example, most likely it may be that you are not praying enough or studying enough or drawing strength from God enough. Or it may be that you're not rested enough because work not finish. Yes, you should be hard working, but work not finish. And you need your mental health intact. You need to be emotionally balanced to be there for your family, especially if you're a woman that has kids and a husband. If you're a student, you need to be mentally okay. You need to be physically okay. That means you're not sick. To be the best in your class, to meet up with assignments. So as you're juggling along the line, there are times where you have to step back and retreat or rest. You may need a social media break. You may need to take a break from some regular, rigorous activities and just take a step back, you know, and that's like saying, you know, or sleep or watch movies. Hey, you can have fun, all right, but ensure that you are able to cool off, able to draw strength and refire. I'm saying this because I know that we burn out as women a lot. And I mean, imagine a young girl who is living with her parents and she has 4 brothers, and in their home her brothers are not domesticated. She does most of the jobs. She has to go to school, she has to cook, clean the house, or run a business by the side with school. I mean, it's a lot, to be honest. So learn to rest, learn to refresh and refire and come back and, you know, put in your best. And I don't want to talk about feminism. I'm not a feminist, but I mean, there are roles for men, there are roles for women, all right, in quotes and unquote. If you permit me to say things that require much energy, for example, I can't be carrying 25 liters of keg when my husband is there, of keg or without oil or water. I mean, that's what a man should do because he has physical strength. A woman may have more inner strength than her husband or than her brothers, but a man has physical strength. So when it comes to the home, all right, it's good that both of you put your strength together. When you're strong, your husband is weak. When he's weak, you're stronger. You know, support each other. So whatever works for you, your home, really. I can't tell you man should work plate or woman should cook food. Whatever works for you, but ensure that both of you are happy serving each other, because that's the bottom line. If you're doing the chores, take care of the kids, and you're not happy, or your husband feel that that's your work and you're stressed, I think you should cry out. Yeah, and seek help. But whatever roles you want to do in your home, fantastic. You're not supposed to be dragging the equality thing with your husband, because the husband is the head of the home. I mean, that one is stereotyped for them. They are the head of the home from God. We are their helpers and all of that. But under God, both of you are equal, like equal in the grace of God. But I mean, the man has to lead, because in the home there should be a leader. Sorry, I don't want to preach.
No
But yeah,
problem. Thank
you
you.
asked for me to put in a word, so I just thought to say them.
Yeah, thank you. For example, the example you made about the Proverb 31 woman, that's the Bible, is there. This woman worked more on her strength. You don't need to outline this is what she did, this is what she did. They were just stating that she was drawing into her strength and
So
serving her
somebody was
family
telling
with
me,
it.
sorry to cut you. Someone was saying that her husband was using Proverbs 31 woman as example for her.
Eh,
That's what this she did, and her husband was praised. So that his own wife is lazy because she's not doing. I say, are you the woman?
and even in between, she woke up early. You don't know if she slept back at 12 p.m. So
Thank
you
you.
have an idea. It's been said already. You just have to pick in the skills that she had. For example, she had time management skills. She was able to
Mhm.
organize. If you don't have that skill, outsource it. Just
Good.
make sure all these things, just make sure your home is running, just make sure your life is running, you understand, just make sure things are coming together. But if there's anything, Nigerian women, sorry, African women, we like to be jack of all trade, master of none, you understand. For example, it's okay
You feel
if you
like
like
there's
to,
a dignity in I did everything
yeah,
myself. I'll suffer.
no, if I'm able to outsource cleaning, if I'm able to outsource washing clothes, I would do that to be
Grocery,
able to do more
buying your
productive
groceries.
things in life. Time, the time is a very expensive currency, very very expensive currency. If and that's what differentiates the poor from the rich, because the rich will continue to use their money to buy more time for themselves to be able to make wealth, while the poor person wants to do
Mm.
everything. I was talking to someone about people living in Lagos, hustle and bustle. I said, if I had my chance, I would not go through Lagos traffic just to go to work every day. If I had
Mm.
my way about it, it was my mindset. I already knew that if I was living in Nigeria, I was living in Lagos, this is what I want. But if you have another purpose, you understand, there's something you want to, maybe something you want to get in your career, and that is where you can only get it. You persevere, to get that to that goal. But for myself, I felt that I cannot be going through Lagos traffic and be productive. So I already knew that anywhere I get a job, I'm going to be living close to the place. But in this place, it has changed. I'm living 30 minutes away from my workplace, you understand? Because I feel like I can, I can go through that way. There's no hold up. I can relax in the bus while coming, maybe just pray or just rest my head, and I get home, do that. So things change. We shouldn't be rigid about this is what I want to do. That is
Mm.
what I have been told to do. I've been told to cook. Employ a cook. This lady, yeah, if you can afford it, if you have the means, employ a cook, even if it's not every week, if it is maybe a time that you are burned out. For example, I like to eat from home, you understand. I like to make my own food and eat, because I don't like the rubbish that they cook, in this place. But I didn't have that time, and I had to, order out. I came home, I was like, see me, I'm hungry, oh, let's just order Chinese food, and just eat, because I cannot now get home at that time with the amount of burnout I already experienced at work to now go into the kitchen. I won't be happy. My husband will not be happy. I will nag. I will nag. I will nag to everyone, because how can I work over 14 hours and come home to start going to the kitchen. Fire, the fire that will burn the person that wants to do it. It will be a lot. But sometimes I go to work and I'm more relaxed, and I come back home and I'm like happy. Oh, let's cook this. Let's make breakfast. You understand? I'm happy doing that. That's because there is no burnout there, and there is no expectation. So women should please do best for themselves. We've been talking for 48 minutes now. Please, if you have any contribution, please put in the comment section. If you want to join our live video, please join in now. I know Queen has been having difficulty joining us. I'm so sorry, Queen. You were calling through video, and if I pick the video call, it's going to cut off this live video. So that was why I've not been able to pick your video call. So if you have any questions, any contribution, please just, drop it now. Yeah.
Okay, so we should expect that the male gender respects women for who they are, amplify their strengths where possible. Don't look down on them. We need to say that. Don't look down on a woman because she's a woman. All right. If somebody, give the benefit of a doubt, try the person out. All right. Why I'm saying this is because actually in the place of work and culture, as much as possible, we may not be able to influence everybody's culture all at once. But I think culturally, people are beginning to pick things. People have a mindset in a particular culture, really in Africa, that if you don't have a male child, you don't have a child. So because if a man dies, it's the males that will carry on the family name and all of that. But I don't know how much that is changing, but I know it's still very frequent in Africa. And let's know that female children also take care of their parents, even though they don't bear the names. Not all of them still bear their father's names, but it's most times the female children that take care of their parents in old age, to be honest. And I'm not saying this to say that men don't do, but I'm saying what obtains what we've really seen. So men, pick up the challenge, take care of your parents in their old age, not just because you're answering their parents name, but out of love and respect. All right, we're supposed to honor our parents. So if you're still of the mindset that as a woman, until I have a male child, I don't have a progenitor, I'll take on my family name, you're already being stereotyped, and you would unconsciously carry that mindset to your son and make him feel like because he's male, he's better than his female colleagues or his sisters whenever they come, which is wrong. Men and women are blessed by God, and male children and female children are gifts from God. And as women who are married or who are going to be married, let us know that it is now a place to treat them equally under God.
Yeah.
Hi, Gloria. Thanks for joining the King's Daughter.
Thank you. And what I'm just saying is that if you are even doing well for yourself, you would like to reproduce someone of your kind. If I have a female daughter that, if I have a daughter that is, acting like me, I will be happy. My mom has, reproduced someone that looks so much like her, thinks so much like her, and she's happy because she's a better person. So if you think you are giving birth to a daughter and you are feeling bad because you just need to go back and check yourself. What are you doing with your life? I thank God now financial literacy is out there. Men are also coming up. I think the economy is not even helping, so men are also
now working for their money,
allowing their wives to explore, allowing their wives to also just reach the peak of whatever.
We need to shout out those kind of men that are actually allowing their wives to fly, pursue their career, make money to support the family.
To support the family. Because sometimes a long time ago, no matter how good you are, when you get married, you're not going to be doing anything. So thank God for people like that are already coming over. Thank God for the enlightenment that we are all having everywhere. So as a woman, you are the only one holding yourself back. The society does not have a say on you. God has already made you equal in his sight. So you have an equal right. You have an equal, opportunity. All you need to do is to key into your strengths and appreciate your differences. Make use of that differences. If you, for example, I don't wake up early in the morning. If I want to go to work in the morning, I have to tell my husband to wake me up. When I was single, I have days that I woke up past my resumption time. So now that we've gotten married, I'm not going to be angry that you wake up early, you wake me up and all of that. I'm just like, when you wake up in the morning, wake me up, please, so that I can go to work. Do you understand? So let's embrace our differences. Let's work on our strengths. Key on your strengths. If communication is your thing, key on that strength. Communicate, to your family, to your husband's family. That way you are using that strength that you have to cover all the thousands of weaknesses that you might ever have. So I think that will be where I would conclude for today. Do you have any conclusion, anything you want to say to everybody joining us?
Yes, so those of us that joined, thank you. Those of us that watch the replay, thank you. We hope that you have gleaned some wisdom from what we've shared. Remember that you need to own your life as a woman. Define your priorities, pursue your life. Okay, don't wait for anybody to look down on you or to cheer you on, because nobody really owes you anything. So own your life, be the best that you can be. Don't lock up your potentials because of marriage, because of competition, because of comparison with the male gender. Then men, respect the women. I mean, we're doing enough, and especially those of us who are very hardworking and who are supportive of their husbands. I mean, respect the women, and generally respect the female gender, because women are strong, inner strength. They have that inner strength, and don't ever think that a woman cannot do something until she has tried and failed. Don't ever say this is not for a woman or this is not for you. No, allow women to be all that God has put them to be, because we also respect your gender and we're not competing with you, but we believe that the best person should win at all times. At the place of work, the best candidate should get it, not because you're a man, because you're a woman. At the church, the best person that God has chosen should lead, not because she's a woman or you are a man. So stuff like that. Let's always look at the greater good at the end of the day. So thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you so much. This is a wonderful conversation. If you joined us today and you really enjoyed this conversation, this is GIRVERSATION by W.O.N.D.I.V.A, and we always come every weekend. If you come to our page, if you are not following us, just follow W.O.N.D.I.V.A Global Community. If you come to our page, we would always, tell you the date and the time of, the next conversation. So please join us next time, and we'll be happy and loved to have you back. Thank
And
you
if
so
you're a
much
lady,
for
you're a
joining.
woman, you want to join W.O.N.D.I.V.A, you can send a DM to
Yes.
W.O.N.D.I.V.A Global Community, and we'll take it up with you from there.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
everyone. Thank you for
you.
joining.
Yeah, thank you,
Bye.
everybody. Okay, bye.